In this video, we're going to talk about HTML directives in Lightning Web Component. There are three HTML directives. We have if true, if false, and we have a for loop, and then we also have something called iterator. So in this video, we're going to talk about the for loop directive. So as the name indicates, right, loop. So we will be dealing with collections or a list of records. And when you have a collection or a list of records in your code and then you wanted to just loop through that and then to show it on the screen, we can use this for loop directive. So you will learn for loop directive. Also, you will learn how to use Lightning layout component. It's a tag in Lightning Web Component, which we are going to use to show the list of items from the collection. We also ensure that the component that we build works across devices. Basically, right? It's responsive enough to work across devices. So this is how a sample output will look like. So we're going to show a list of users as a card, list of users, as you can just see this, right? This is the desktop version, and this is how automatically the screen changes based on the device size and width. So this is iPhone. This is how you see in iPhone 12 Pro. Yeah. So you'll just see only two users in one row, but right in the desktop version, you will just see, four user profiles or cards in one row. So this is what we're gonna do it. Let's learn this by creating a Lightning Web Component from the scratch. So before we begin, we wanted to understand, or we should understand, the for loop directive. So this is the syntax, the simple syntax. So you will have for each attribute, and then whenever you have a collection, right, you will just give that as an input to for each, and then as the collection it's looped through each item. We can just save that item temporarily in a variable, and then we can access that back in our code. So before or rather getting into the syntax or spending time understanding the syntax, let's try to get our hands dirty and then learn this one. Yeah. Let's go back to the code. Yeah. So this is my Lightning Web Component. I built it for which we are going to build it for understanding this for loop directive. Yeah, a plain HTML, and you have a JavaScript. So in this JavaScript, we have an array. We have a JavaScript object. So as you can just see, this is an user profile, and we do have ID, profile image. Let me just put this inside a single quote. Yeah, ID, profile image, company, username, and skill set. So, and this is our meta XML. This is not yet been exposed to use it in the org. So to begin with, I will be exposing this element, and then let's say I want to use this particular Lightning Web Component only in the home page. So I'll remove all the targets. Yeah, so pretty fine, right? So we have to deal with the collection. So before we create a collection, what I want to do is I just wanted to start with very simple one record. Yeah, one record right here, and then if it works fine, then we can just start using a collection. Okay, so I do have the single record fine in this JSON JavaScript object format, right? So this single record, let's see how we can bind this back into this HTML. Yeah, so I will just split this window to the right. Let's save this. So we wanted to show this card, right? A user card where you have an image, and then there is the name of the company, there is the name of the person, the user, and the user skill set. Yeah. So I do have a code already available which we can tap in here. So let me explain this one. Yeah. So as you can just see, so we need an image, isn't it? So I have an image tag, and then in the source, I want to get the value for the image source from the record from the JSON object back in the JavaScript. So we use this data binding, isn't it? So from the user profile, I just wanted to access profile image. That's all it is. And then I'm using SLDS to just make it or position this to center, and then I have this style. I'm just going to shrink the size of the image so that it has this 50, high, 50 pixel height and 50 pixel width. After that, I have a div, and then inside a div, I'm going to show the company name. I'm just using a p tag and then just using and showing the company name. As you can just see, I'm accessing the company key from the user profile. That's it. Similarly, I'm going to have another, paragraph tag, which will help me to show the name of the person. And then finally, the badge, right? I'm using lightning badge right here. So this will show me the skill set, yeah, skill set of the user. So this is the HTML. And let's first try to align this. Yeah, it's aligned now. Now let's try to build this and then see how it just works. Then we can convert this into collection and then see how we can loop through using for loop directive. So yeah, let's save the file and deploy. Yeah, we'll go to the command palette and let's deploy the files. So let's wait for the deployment to complete. Then let's add the component back in the org and then see how it works. Then we can further fine tune this component. Yeah. Now the component has just been deployed. Let's go to the org. Let's try to, yeah, let's refresh this page and I'm going to add this component right in this home page. Let's go and then edit page. And let's bring the for loop component which we just created onto the home page. That's all it is. Let's save and let's go back. Yeah, I think we got the expected output, right? So we have an image and then we have the name of the company, we have the user name and also the user skill set architect. Perfect, right? So which means it works for just one record, isn't it? One record. We have a JS object that carries one record data, isn't it? Now let's change this and then convert this into a collection and then see how this works. Okay, so I do have a sample data already. Okay, so we can just make use of this. And let me just comment this one. This is no longer needed. Yeah. So now comes the collection. So typically, right, I have hard coded this data, right? That is a user array. So this is an array. It has, array of objects. So each one represents a record. So this is how typically happens, right? When you make a call to a database and then retrieve multiple records, right, using your Apex method or whatever it is, it's going to return a set of records, correct? So back in the JavaScript, you will just see each record, as an object, as a JavaScript object. Okay. So I didn't make a call to database. Instead, we will just focus on how to use for loop in this video. That's the reason I've just hard coded, a collection back in the JavaScript. Okay. So we have 5 records in total. Right now, let's see how we can just loop through this. Yeah. And the easiest way to do it is right to use this directive, right? So let's say for each, let's use maybe I'll just use, so I'll create a template, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say for each. Yeah, so we'll just say which is the collection that we wanted to loop through. Yeah, I wanted to loop through this user array, isn't it? So this is the name of my collection. I'll just simply use this back in the HTML, and then for each item as it loops through, each item, I wanted to give a temporary name to that item. Yeah, maybe I'll just put user profile as an item. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and inside which I can just write my HTML elements which I wanted to uh, replicate. So what I want to do is I just wanted to have a div. Okay, and the most important thing when you use for each, right, in your HTML directory, we need to specify the key. So there is a key attribute. What I want to do is I just wanted to pick a unique value, in each record, and then I want to just assign that as a key. So in this case, I want to use user profile dot id. So this id is unique, so I just wanted to use it. Okay, just remember, without this key you cannot deploy this lightning web component. You will just, it will just, throw an error message. Okay, so this is how, simple to create or use this HTML directive. Okay, and in our case we just wanted to, loop through these users, and then we wanted to show each user, right, as a card in the on the page. So let's just move the entire code back into this div. Okay, let me use HTML features and then align this. Perfect, right? So that's it. Okay, this is how simple it is to use for each. So let's try to deploy this and then see what happens. So let me just go and then push the changes to the source or the org. All right, now the code has just been deployed. So let's go back to the org and then see if you are able to see multiple user cards. All right, did I miss anything? Let me just see if I just clear the cache. Let's see what happens. Sometimes, the JavaScript gets cached, and the browser gets it will be using, the previous version of JavaScript. Looks like something else is wrong. It's not showing up the image. Let's go back and then cross check what is wrong in the code. Yeah, I think I found the reason why it is not working, because I did not save this file. Look at this one, it is still in the modified state. So let me just go to file and then save all. Yeah. So all the files have been saved. Now let's try to deploy this again and then refresh the page. Yeah, now the code has just been deployed. Let's go back to the page and then, refresh. Let's close this. Let's refresh this page and see how it works. Yeah, I just refreshed the page, and as you can just see, we do have, all the users, right, appearing on the screen. So this is how you can use for loop in our HTML, uh, Lightning component HTML. So pretty simple. So all we have to do is we have to tell the Lightning Web Component engine that this is the array of, or a collection of records that we wanted to loop through, and then as it loops through each item, and this is how you find the current item. Yeah. So once you have the current item, then all you have to do is just find the unique key, or key in the current item, and then assign that as to the key attribute that is essential, and then you simply have all your elements added. Yeah. So this is how, you can just loop through and then show information on the screen. And we wanted to make additional changes in this code because we wanted to make this page, right, responsive, because I don't want to show all the users in a vertical fashion. I just wanted to show it, in a horizontal rows, and also I want to make this one responsive, right? So let's see how we can do it, for which we're going to use lightning layout. So this is what we are going to use. Lightning layout base component is what we're going to use it. So yeah, so this is the tag, lightning layout tag. So let me just remove things that are no longer needed. Okay, very simple. This is our lightning layout, and I want to just set the attribute multiple rows equal to true, so that I just see the data, right, appearing in rows horizontally. So for which I'll just set horizontal hyphen align is equal to center. Okay, that's the first thing. And lightning layout, will help me to create a column. Yeah. In my case, I just wanted to have one column. That's it. And then I just wanted to ensure that all the, user cards are placed inside this layout item. Yeah, as a each column. Okay. So what I want to do is, first, I just wanted to loop through, the array. Yeah, I'll do that. And as I loop through each item, I want to build this lightning layout dynamically. Yeah, dynamically. For which means for each user record, I wanted to have a lightning layout item created, which is basically a column. Yeah, to get created. Yeah. So right inside this, I just wanted to move the entire code. that's it. Yeah. And most importantly, whenever we use for each, we have to just give the key, right? So I'll just copy this one from here, and then let's go and then add it right here. That's all it is. So this size attribute, right, it helps me to set the size for different devices. I set the size is 12. This works for the desktop. For a small device, then the size, I would like to see the size as size to be 3. And for medium device, I would like to see the size, as 6, etc., etc. So this size will help me to set a fixed width, to that particular card. So this actually makes my screen, responsive. Okay, I don't have to play around with the CSS and other things. Everything is taken care by Salesforce. It uses SLDS grid CSS at the behind the scenes, okay, to make this page responsive. But I think we got our code completed. Let me just remove the earlier code. So that's it. So let me just again go and then save. Yeah, save all is fine. Done. Okay. So pretty much we are done. Right click, format document. It's cool. Let's try to deploy this code. Yeah, the code has just been deployed. Let's go back and then refresh this page. Okay, I think it is caching issue again. Let's go back and then let's clear the cache and then just try to rerun this. All right, let's see if there is something wrong in the code. Um, okay, I think I got it. So I just misspelled, align. So let me just correct that one. It's horizontal hyphen align, ALIGN. Okay, now let's redeploy the code. Yeah, the deployment has just been completed. Let's go back and then refresh the page. Perfect. Now we can see all the, all the user cards. Right. Again, as you can see, everything is arranged, arranged in rows, right? And also there is a spacing between all the cards. And if I just go back and then use the browser emulator and then see how this page will look like, right, in different devices. Look at this one. This is how it will look like when I use this iPhone 12 Pro. And yeah, so let's see how this works in iPhone. Let's see. Yeah, as you can just see this, right? When we were using our desktop, it was just showing all the elements, right? 4 items or 4 user cards in one row. But now, as I said, it is responsive in nature by default. So, based on the device's height and width, right, automatically it just ensures that the page works seamlessly fine, right, and responsive across devices. So that's the great advantage of this Lightning layout. So all we have to do is, if we just go back to the code, so we have to use this Lightning layout and then use Lightning layout item to, to create a column and then use the properties size, large device size and medium device size and small device size, and set the fixed width. So this is how we can able to make this page responsive in nature. So there are two things we did learn in this video. One is how to use this for each and then loop through a list of records and then show it on the screen. And number two, how to use this lightning layout, which helps us to show data, right, or which helps us to build a component that is responsive enough to work across multiple devices. So the source code for this one is also, you can find the link for the source code in the description. So you can also take a look, download the code, and then take a look how it works in your environment. I hope this video has helped. Thank you so much.